Let's get it started. It's the first map of our best of 5 between Team EnVyUs and Mindfreak, a battle of NA versus APAC. Let's get it started. Shocks, the guy who was just going off in the first series for Mindfreak, now watching this outer drill side.
He gets dropped pretty much immediately, but I like the choice to start with him. He's been so hot. Let's see if he can, keep it going early in this one, but it's over now to the leader. Cap, he's locking up the time.
And some of the things that were spoken about on the analyst desk for Envy in the first series was some awkward roll switches and different guns. You see J-Cap there with a nice two-piece back-to-back headshots to keep the pressure off this middle hard point for Slasher. Another thing as well was, Envy at times, it was Slasher in the hill doing everything for his team objectively. Meanwhile, the rest of his squad was just kind of running around the map dying, and they never had the lanes pushed out. Scorch a map, especially on this money hill at Turbine, where you want to get the entry kills and then push out the lanes, force the spawns all the way at that far right of the minimap on rocks.
And it's Buzzo that gets to the back of Turbine first. Jackie spawns 2 of his teammates there, an exciting fighter, and they are set up to go. The push now going to come in from Envy. Waiting for the top side is Buzzo, sees one, early nade out on X-Ray. You can see there's multiple players pushing from this side. First engagement goes to Buzzo. You can see what a great position this is. He hasn't even been hit with a bullet yet. So tough to pick from this spot.
Yeah, and that Centurion trophy system defense he had right there, absolutely helping him stay alive. Finally, Apathy does go for the pinch, and that was because 2 of his teammates tried to push from that outer catwalk area. You see Shocks covering right now. 33-27, this is a perfect example of how this map starts all the time, Maven. Yes, a team might get 30 seconds on the first kill, get themselves a 20-plus point lead, but if they don't win the kills on rotation, the lead switches right back, just like this. Mindfreak, the start that they want to have.
This is looking like it's going to be a full 60. You just saw Apathy spawn up across the map. Buzzo is still cruising, and that is a perfect hold there at Turbine as Buzzo drops, pushing across Skybridge.
They basically contested for, I think, 1 second of that. Outside that, though, it's Mindfreak now with their biggest lead of the game as we move towards this back hanger hardpoint, and they've got the right idea here, Maven. Push out the back rock side. This is it's almost like a sticky spawn, and what I mean by that is you need to go and literally get this back area right here. If you fight at that front rock right in this area, there could still be a player that spawns up on that back side. Yep. They have the right idea, and now watch the minimap. Look where these envy arrows spawn, all the way back near Turbine. The break has come in. John's last alive. He does what he can, but it's not enough. The clean break from Mindfreak as they continue to build this lead.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, he tries, but the 2 kills don't even really matter because those 2 players pop right in the back like you're talking about, and you've got all players locked and loaded, set up to deal with Cap and crew that are pushing in, but look at the team wipe. Envy just crushes, and they still get the close spawn.
That's what I'm telling you. This back spawn can be very sticky if you do not have someone in that area. There, Mindfreak do spawn up again. They try to send 1 player in, but they realize, you know what, boys, not enough time. Let's go ahead and fall back towards drill. This natural pinch, though, developing for Envy could be a key to success.
Exactly. That spawn actually does set up a pinch for Envy. They're going to be able to fly in. John, though, gets picked out of the window. So far, so good. Buzzo, Excite, finding kills. Cap trying to answer back. He's flying into the hard point, but Mindfreak able to hold on for now.
Slow down, Envy. Slow down, Envy.
Yeah, that should have gone better for Envy, right?
They just seemed to slow down right there. Apathy needed to just live inside this observation deck area. They knew Mindfreak were spawning back up, or Mindfreak were spawning closer to the hill than Envy were. Right now, the challenge coming in from John. He does get cut down. The kill feed, though, littered with Mindfreak names. One of them, though, was a team kill, but it's not enough to help Envy turn the tide in their favor. The first team to eclipse that 100-second mark is the APAC squad. Mindfreak still looking great in Hardpoint, the game mode that most people were worried about with them coming into this weekend.
Absolutely, because their numbers in Uplink, I think it was something like 55% win rate, 60% in search and destroy. I mean, really, when you looked at it, percentage-wise, I know they play different teams, obviously, than NBA Dallas, but they actually looked a little bit better on paper just from a map and mode percentage. If they improve Hardpoint like it looks like they can do, who can they hang with? Everybody?
Yeah, and I think to everybody at home wondering, obviously, is Mindfreak the best representation of the APAC region? Are they fully deserving? How this all worked out? Yes, there were some tight maps against other teams. They absolutely are. There is no doubt in my mind. APAC's best are Mindfreak to get to this point. You can see, though, a few payloads beginning to come into play quite soon for the side of Mindfreak. We'll see if that can help them keep building this lead, but right now EnVy are in control of the middle hill.
And I did just glance at it real quick because I remember there being a big disparity. Yeah, so you're looking at basically 60% for Uplink and S&D. It drops all the way to 30% for Hardpoint. So that was far and away their worst mode. But right now, getting it done. However, EnVy trying to mount the comeback here in Turbine. It's Slasher getting things done with a two-piece, and they'll grab these final seconds, and we're going to have a lead change here as EnVy now takes control.
There you go. EnVy, what's the difference maker? They get some kills, to be quite honest with you. Slasher was 8 and 11, now 12 and 11. Apathy was 7 and 11. Now 11 and 11. They brought it back to even and positive for some of these players, and now on rotation, it's EnVy in the position they want to be in for this back Turbine Hardpoint.
And you can see, I mean, John's already got more kills than he did the last time he played this map, so you heard them talking about the fact that he was back there kind of practicing this whole time, whether it was shooting bots, staying warm, making sure he was on point. Seems to be a big, big difference.
The guy was a COD Champs MVP for a reason. If there's a person that knows how to regain composure, who knows what he needs to do to step up, it is John, a very talented veteran player in the Call of Duty competitive scene. Nice break opportunity now for Mindfreak, and I think that was really their last push of that hill. If they didn't break with that push, they would have just given it up. EnVy would have gotten the full 60. Instead, we'll be back within about 10 seconds. But last time this rotation came in, Maven, it was Mindfreak fighting from this back foot, and they got a clean break off the start.
They did. It was a very early break, and let's see if they can do it again. Remember, it was 3 players pushing through rocks last time. One getting the whole way through the back. He challenged there, and as he drops, that basically destroys your push. Now you're 2 down, you have to reset. So it's going to be Shox and Fida, I believe, here that need to stay up and wait for their teammates, because you just saw the 5 and the number 8 pop across. That's going to be Buzzo and Excite trying to get back to the action. They played it patiently here. You can't lose someone early. Wait for the team collapses. Now they're going to look to make a play.
And yeah, they were waiting, and now the team push does come in, as you mentioned. First couple kills go over to EnVy. Fida still hasn't charged on through with this ERAD, and yeah, he gets shot from 3 different angles. EnVy, they're going to build this lead. They're going to break the 200-second mark on this Hardpoint, Maven.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have anybody pushing from the back, right? It was all coming from kind of the front, top, and lower side, and they just had it completely locked down. Mindfreak not even able to grab an inch, but as Mindfreak looked so good early in the game, EnVy now has definitely come alive. And like you said, it's a lot of the players just really picking up the slang over the second half.
This scoreboard is much more reminiscent of their first Hardpoint in their first series of the day up against Splice, where, yeah, JCap, was playing some objective time, not the most amount of kills, letting his teammates do the slang, and that's really been the key to success for EnVy in the past when this team has been on top. Shox and Fida again near drill, doing what they can to hold this push, but again, look at EnVy in the kill feed, still making these kills and rotation happen.
Shox, though, doing just enough. Him and Fida hold on here in drill. Fida!
You said it there, I like that. You got the A and Z accent.
That wasn't even intentional.
I know.
They pick up the kills. It was watching you practice for your bit last night on Hot Mic. I saw you watching YouTube videos of Australian accents for a solid half hour.
Yes, I was, and guess what? Did it pay off? Absolutely.
Got to be true to character there, Jack. But with 25 seconds left, EnVy do get the break. And now, not even really worth taking a big stab at this with 15 seconds left. They're just trying to get in position really for the next hard point, but as they fly through, it leads to at least 1 team kill for Cap. He can't find another, but they're going to break the 2:30 mark here with the final couple seconds on drill.
John's shot is looking better and better as this goes on. 3 players on either squad over that 1-minute mark inside the hard point. The third rotation now beginning. EnVy so close to winning this game. A couple more gunfight victories in the middle hill could be the difference. Excite there does use the FTL jump to get aggressive to win the 1v1. That's now all 4 dead on EnVy for the moment.
Excite picks up everyone in the hard point. Disgusting stuff from him. The FTL coming to fruition, and now looking to still hold on his teammates, picking up all the kills around. He tags up a few in the back, and it's Shox now trying to come in. Shox got 2, couldn't finish the 3rd. Now it's an FTL on the other side. Buzzo not falling for it. Buzzo still contesting, but now with the swap, you might be able to close it out here if you're EnVy.
This should be it. The Scarab not going to be enough to break through this first line of defense. Slasher gets 2. There's nobody here for Mindfreak. Fight is doing what he can. EnVy, who starts slow on the map, come to life and take game number 1.
And that's got to be a bit frustrating if you're Mindfreak, because you come in off the hot 3-0, you're feeling good, you start good in the game 1, and you kind of give it away. I mean, you expect those caliber of comebacks from a team like EnVy. Obviously, high caliber players. Absolutely. They've seen and done it all throughout the course of their careers, but did you let one slip away a bit there if you're Mindfreak?
I think you could say yes. I think the big thing was that combined 8 streak from Slasher and Apathy that really began to swing the tide in their favor towards that Turbine Hardpoint. That's where they began to get that lead. There's a look at Mindfreak, who just suffered their first map loss of the Global Pro League. Again, already impressing some people with that first 3-0 victory over Cloud9.
Yeah, it was incredibly impressive. And now, you got to see how they handle things going up 1-0. And they just kind of snowballed it, right? They took control of the series. They put Cloud9 on tilt, and they kept it going. Now we'll see the opposite of that. You lose the first map. How do you bounce back? How do you rebound? You're far from home. You're on American soil. You're playing for more money than you've ever competed for outside of COD champs. Yeah. There's players in this team that have experienced that before. But now's the time to shine, buddy.
I think another thing to point out, too, for the side of Mindfreak in that game was that one engagement near that back rock side where it was Excite with that submachine gun. He was challenging towards bottom tunnel. It was right where EnVy were really in an opportunity to begin to get that big lead in the second half of that game. And for some reason, you saw Excite get a little bit overeager. He peeked back out. Meanwhile, he had the help from Buzzo right there with him. And he got punished, to be quite honest.
Think about the next push then. They have to wait about 20 seconds. And they go to push. They didn't have anyone to push from rock side, so it was easy to dial up. You're looking at 2 doorways, basically. 2 small doorways to line up of 4 players. They shut it down without problem whatsoever. If Excite stays alive there, if they get more of a 2-3-pronged attack, that may go very differently. Now, you don't want to put it all on one player, but we've talked about the fact you and I did the first series. In Hardpoint in this game, one kind of dumb death, one over-aggressive play, it cost you big time, maybe over multiple rotations.
Most certainly does. So EnVy will take that first map because of some of those decisions and some of those outplays on at 250 to 190. I think we'll have a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown of exactly how they made that possible here in a brief moment. But looking forward in this series now, we know map number 1 has gone to EnVy, and here again, a look at the difference on the bridge hardpoint and the hangar hardpoint between these teams.
That's where they got it done. I mean, typically, we talk so much about Turbine, how important it is, right? That is that we're going to pick up a ton of time. That and Hangar, I think, is probably the 2 easiest, obviously, to really solidify it. As good as Mindfreak was on Turbine, EnVyUs was that much better, really, on Hangar. That 94, and you mentioned Bridge as well, you shouldn't beat somebody that badly on Bridge, right?
No, never. That's quite the stat difference, even in the end, when you think of what was happening. Excite gets the 4-piece in that top bridge area, the quad kill, and there's nothing to show for it. They just die immediately after.
I mean, if I only saw Hardpoints 2, 3, and 4, the breakdown, you had the total score blocked out, you had Hardpoint 1 blocked out, I would have put money on Mindfreak winning that game. Honestly, I would have thought for sure they had taken it, but oh, man, they get dominated there at Bridge. Now we get ready for our Search and Destroy.
Search and Destroy on Crusher will be map number 2. We saw what John can do with the sniper back in his first series on Throwback, where he was hitting some fancy shots. Crusher, a map where you have some of those scenarios, but you need to know when it's time to put that weapon away, as always. Another thing, too, we see the B bomb site hit a lot on that outside area, but a well-coordinated A push, getting control of that, planting it for the stretch spot, and moving back and playing from your spawn could basically be a free round win if you catch your opponent off guard. Yeah,
this map, one of my favorite to watch in Search and Destroy, certainly provides for, well, it's provided for some of the most entertaining moments we've had this year.
Absolutely.
You think back to the Karma Fastball 1v1, some of the insane round 11s we've had on this series, on this map. This should provide some entertainment. But so far, what are your thoughts overall on day 1? I know we're only a couple series in, we're into our 3rd match, but for the first CWL Global Pro League, we've had some amazing games.
Oh, the vibes are good. It's been awesome to have Karma on the analyst desk. I mean, I look up there right now, and there's so much talent, right? You have Karma, you have TP, you have Merc. Yeah, no, Benson's okay.
I wish the people could see Benson's face as we were talking about.
Ben's all right. I mean, it's okay. We'll just move on. So yeah, Crusher S&D will be game 2. As you know, Benson's doing a great job of getting these answers out of these people, because you know what? Sometimes Merc can be a little bit shy. You gotta crack him out of his shell. Karma, if you don't keep him in line, we'll just start talking about random things. And Teep's just Teep. I don't want him to beat me up.
One of the best looking men in Columbus, Ohio. We are getting ready for Crusher.
You don't go outside, you wouldn't know what other people look like.
No, I never leave outside. I've been playing JRPGs in my bedroom for 50 hours over the past week.
The first thing we did was move the flat screen from the apartment living room to your bedroom. What's it, like 55 inches?
Yeah, man, I gotta get set up.
It does not proportionate to the size of the room you have.
I gotta get set up for my gaming, but here we go. John, looking to bounce back from a rough first series. It is going to be the big stick to open things up.
Okay, let's go ahead and pretend like you didn't say that as we now focus over towards this B site. As expected, right? This outside site, definitely the area where you want to begin to push. And John with that first blood, okay, fine. You know what? I'll say it. The big stick strikes first.
He finds the first kill, looking to snap on to the second. But right now, We're all square at 3 versus 3, and you can see the defense beginning to rotate back through mid. Look at this flank, and the timing's going to end up being perfect for one of these sides. Oh, God. Well, did they realize they pushed through? Did they get eyes? I think they realized they pushed through, and now he's right below you. Johnson, what is happening? Almost gets the kill. That was awkward.
Yeah, for a second, I was trying to calculate in my head. Both teams not seeing each other. Who does that even favor in that scenario? JCap and Buzzo both weaken each other, but there's no kill to follow. Apathy's got to hightail it out of there as he's about to be chased by 3 of Apac's best. There's the cleanup kill. It's the GOAT by himself, 1 versus 3. And they're there for the milking.
There was a second there where I thought there was going to be like a sick unintentional collateral. Like when he fell behind the one guy and snapped on the other, if he just would have ran forward, would have been insane. But that's just one of those rounds, you know, timing so important, search and destroy. And specifically on this map where you see, I think, a lot more rotations from the defense or offense once you get going. You see a lot more wraps there. Both teams deciding to do it at the same exact moment.
Yep.
And it leads to a bit of a cluster there. But it does go the way of Mindfreak as they are going to get the first round on the board, and that's actually Fida picking up all 4 kills of EnVy. So he starts off with an ace. He found 2 more. He got 6 in a row. We'll have to see it to begin the round if he was able to pick up anything.
He might have a streak. I don't think he'll have his payload as of yet. But now it is Slasher, 1 versus 1. Really 2 of the more explosive players on these teams. Obviously, Slasher on defense, so he can play around these bomb sites. 58 seconds remaining. Did he spot the player inside you? I don't believe so.
Nope, he hasn't seen him yet. So we've got a lot of time on the clock. Everyone trying to feel out their positions. So many sneaky areas on this map, and there's hunting right now. Nobody playing slow. They're looking for these kills. Bomb going to be in the hand of Shock, so the pressure on him to work the plant, and he should be dead momentarily. Does he check it? Does he check it? He goes actually the opposite side. So now he knows it's planted, tries to get out. He has to know he's out the backside. He realized it, but the timing ends up working perfectly. He gets the kill.
Is he doing a thing? We don't know.
I think there may have been a gesture.
We cut away. The world may never know.
I want to know what gesture he did.
What did he do?
I saw Apathy start cracking up, so.
All right, you know what? We're going to assume he gestured.
Yes.
The BM from Slasher, you saw it there for a second on your screen. Such great stuff. Oh, he did the little toy thing. He did the toy statue. Oh my gosh.
Well, hey, we'll have a chat with the team here. We'll let them know there's some fancy new gestures that we need to see.
Yes.
All right, but now into round 3, tied up at 1-1. Slasher on your screen, already over halfway to camo. Starting out 2-1, but I mean the big person so far has been Fida, just that 6-0 start, but he drops early in this round, Jack.
Yeah, immediately down to a 2v2. JCap has been picked up. Now it's Apathy all by himself. He knows who the players are. But can he make much more happen off of that? Nope. Ooh. Not going to work out there. Mindfreak get another round.
Just a sliver of HP left there as he survives the gunfight. It is going to be Shocks closing it out. He snaps up top and just barely able to take that gunfight. He loses that. I mean, you might be able to get away, turn that into a 1v1, get your health back, and live to see another day. But nice shots there from Shocks to close it out.
So when interviewing Excite earlier, I heard him mention a little bit about how NA teams were kind of noticing some of Mindfreak's strats and taking them for themselves. Mindfreak have been a solid search and destroy team so far to this point. Even now, up 2-1. Do they keep that going across the weekend? We have to see. Right now, the performance from Fida and Shocks is carrying them in this game too.
Yeah, they've got 11 now of their 13 kills. And speaking of Fida and Shocks, they're the ones coming in again. 7 for Fida, 5 for Shocks. There's 1 player left. It's Slasher in a 1 versus 3. 60 seconds to work with. He's going to be playing defense here. The bomb plant looking to be going down. He's wrapping around the back. Can he catch one with their pants down? If he got him like a second earlier and could catch the bomb planter as well, the nade ends up tagging him, but Buzzo in a good position there to find the kill.
Nice cleanup there by Mindfreak. Going to put him up 3-1 now. Again, what was the number that was brought up for? It was like 13 out of 15 kills so far in this game from Fida and Shocks.
Now, but they've been incredibly impressive.
Yeah. And again, I mean, Shocks so far has been the best player I've seen so far today, if I'm being completely honest with you, from the performances he's put up. And he's going to keep it going right now at 5-2.
He has been incredible, but now let's take a look at it. It is going to be offense now. For the side of EnVy, we're going to be watching Apathy. He's bomb in hand, checking. Shocks is, what, in the back of the map? Chilling?
Yep. Just waiting things out. Seeing if they try to get aggressive through the ace.
There he goes. Now that number 7 on the minimap's starting to move.
Yeah. Slasher close to this camo, and that's going to help him get even closer right there, destroying that Scarab. Do EnVy get this objective planted? Nade's still flying on in. Trophy's not there. Another streak being used. So much being put into this defense by Mindfreak, and it looks like it's paying off right now. The first blood coming on in. Apathy trying to surge back over, and somehow EnVy have swung this round in their favor as players at the outside crates didn't even get shot at, Maven.
No, not tagged up whatsoever. And what went wrong there? How'd that end up playing into the favor of EnVy?
I mean, they wind up getting first blood, but that entire time, right, they get the first blood. There's actually no fourth player there for Mindfreak.
Well, by the time Shox got into the action,
over, yeah. So it's technically, even after the first blood, still just a 3v3. You have two players on the outside crates, and Apathy actually makes an aggressive play towards the site, hopping over one player who was using that for cover, winds up opening up that area, gives his team peace of mind to just watch the outer rocks, and they clean it up from there.
Well, now let's see the offense for Mindfreak. Can they take a 2-round advantage? Again, in this one, you do have Fida.
There you go.
Artie having that reactive armor available. I think I see a sniper in the back, so John must have that ready to go. John is actually a drop to Excite almost immediately. So man advantage coming in early for the side of Mindfreak, and Fida's tagged up a few.
It's actually a great nade, too, outside that back rock area, forcing the opponent to not be able to peek out. Yeah, this is an example of what makes Mindfreak so strong as a team. Some of these guys have been communicating on this roster together for, what, 3+ years, 4+ years,
basically.
I mean, they are some of the longest standing players on a roster in all of competitive Call of Duty. And it shows at times like that, few teams are better in those hectic scenarios than Mindfreak.
And I know, just to talk about the energy we've kind of heard in here so far. I know it's not everything, and some people believe in it, some don't. But when you talk about like the players getting loud, the energy coming from them has been insane. Like the difference between them and Cloud9 was unreal. And I think it's similar right now. Every time we hear somebody getting hyped, somebody screaming, someone getting the team going, it's been from the Mindfreak side.
They're all about it, man. This is some of the biggest moments in their career to have made it to this point. We know the story they had in qualifying for the Global Pro League. Be sure to look that up, too, if you don't. MLG's YouTube channel. They have the road to the Pro League for every single team of how they got here. If you're just tuning in, you want to become a fan of one of these guys, you can see what it took to qualify for the biggest league in competitive Call of Duty history. Right there was the first blood from Slasher, but Shox, again, there to trade it right back on out.
And he has the camo, if need be, but he goes underneath, able to find Slasher, and now it's Cap all by his lonesome. Cap gets... Yikes! I don't know if he had to reload or tried to back away, but Shox didn't miss a bullet there, buddy.
Wow. I need to sip. Oh, there we go. You saw it for a second. Did he stop it? Was that
a salute? A salute cancel?
Was that a teabag for a second and stop? Okay. Listen, if you're gonna do the gesture, you gotta be confident in yourself. You need to be confident in yourself.
I haven't seen all the gestures yet. The teabag one looks interesting. I have to check them all out.
Oh, they're incredible. I don't really get to use them, though, when I play online because typically I'm the one that's dead and getting gestured at, so it's just cool to be the third person in this scenario.
It doesn't shock me. But look at Shox and Fida. They were carrying early. They still are, but Shox eliminated quickly. So that's big, at least, that he can't use the camo in this round and maybe close out map 2 and tie this series up. You give yourself a chance if you're EnVy on the back of John's sniper. But let's see if Excite and crew can fight back. Excite only 2 kills in this one, but he'll be patting his teammates in the back for this one.
Yeah, and they've got A control, which I'm surprised they just haven't just kind of forced a plant, but I get it. Maybe you want to find 1 kill before you go ahead and focus on the objective. Excite's been spotted, down to just a 1v3. He'll get pushed from top bridge. Does get 2, but it's not enough. 5-3, EnVy staying in this game.
We'll take a look at what we have from a specialist standpoint when we get into our next round to see if EnVy has what it takes to climb back. Remember, it all comes down to this for me. If Shox gets a good use of his camo, it's game over. If somehow they can win a round if EnVy can win a round in which he gets that off, they've got a chance and they can absolutely steal this game. It's all going to ride on that for me. You see players do it differently. Sometimes you'll see somebody use it early to close out the game. Sometimes you'll see them save it if it gets to like around 10 or 11. I'm curious how Shox opts to play this one.
Well, we know what EnVy's doing in this round, and it is definitely an aggressive push towards this B site. Mindfreak have tools to retake with. There's no doubt in my mind. But look, they're actually going to go ahead and try to say this.
Like, why not? You have reactive, you have camo. You can win the game with those. You have nothing available for EnVy. You need 1 round.
This is such a good spot from Buzzo. This is such a good spot from Buzzo. Who would ever check this corner?
Well, the timing is going to either be beautiful
or this is
going
to be so perfect. This is a free kill for Buzzo.
Oh, no, they all just wrap back. So the encounter's actually going to happen at the bottom of the map. Kills being traded back and forth. It actually goes the way of Envy. So Buzzo's dream position doesn't really end up being used, but now he can flank behind. So he actually ultimately ends up getting 2 kills. And it's Slasher using his ability right now. It's going to be camo. He blind pops the camo, and it gets burned. So your big chance of a comeback might have just been erased.
That could be the biggest blunder so far of this game. Tries to panic, use the camo, does get him in his sights, though, and Slasher cleans him on up. That's when he is at his best, and you see, even after winning that round, Slasher shaking his own head.
So what's funny, though, is so we had so many eyes on Buzzo, right, thinking they were going to come through. But the fact that they turned around and beeline, you know, our observer switched to all the back and forth action. As soon as that happened, Buzzo just turns around. He's like, all right, he's probably looking at the backs of 3 players, gets 2 of them, ends up in a 1v1, and Envy clutches up. But now they're just a round away. But again, look at the top right of the screen. You've got everything. You got FTL, reactive, camo available. Just bully them.
This should be a round one for Mindfreak.
Yeah.
17 out of 10 times.
You would surely think.
I heard the camo get popped, I'm pretty sure. No. Oh, that was a trophy. That was a trophy getting thrown down.
You don't want to blind pop here, because I don't want to see Merc have a heart attack over to our right here on the analysis desk. Put apathy. They got to work to the fuse here.
Oh, wow. And the Scarab actually gets first blood on JCap. So just like that, it's 3v4 and 3 payload abilities still ready to go for Mindfreak. They've got the bomb planted. Time is ticking. Envy have to make a move. It starts off the reactive use, and he gets cut down right away by John. They do follow it up, though, with the FTL jump. They don't let him get away. Slasher by himself. Mindfreak with the round win. Again, it's now 1-1 in our best of 5 series.
And you had so much utility there that even though the reactive player, I think, gets gunned, it didn't even really matter, because you still, like you said, FTL, you had camo. It was a nice effort and attempted comeback there from MB, but just not enough. I mean, it was pretty much control from Mindfreak. It was what Shox and Fida that just destroyed from the get-go.
Yeah, and that was a great use of FTL jump at the end by Excite. Yes, it's flashy, and at times you're like, did that really do much? But even there, the player peeks on out, gets the kill, and tries to get away in a 2v2. Excite before he can get around the corner. FTL jumps to close the gap, kills him, brings it back to the 2 versus 1, and then it's an easy trade there on a Slasher at the end to win that game.
Well, they've had some very close searches. What goes round 11 versus Cloud9, now 10 rounds here versus Envy, but they're coming up clutch, and that's going to be a big thing for them. I mean, we know they've gone to, thinking back to what, Atlanta and Dallas, they go to a lot of Game 5s. They have a lot of long series. That's usually because they're not winning the Hardpoints, right? That's what extends those series. They dropped the one here, but we'll see. We're going to see a second hardpoint, obviously.
Which gets me excited, because we saw how back and forth that first one was. Obviously, Envy win it in the end, but even at times, the slang was very even. Both teams putting up a case of why they should be able to win that map. When it just came down to first and third hill, though, it was so one-sided for Envy. Not sure if that will be the same case here in this series, but we do know one thing's for sure. We've got 2 more respawns to play. Uplink up first. And again, we saw Mindfreak win that Frost uplink earlier on, in full control the whole time. They always kept on to that lead. We'll see if that's the same case this time around.
Well, I hope you guys at home are enjoying day 1 of the CWL Global Pro League presented by the PlayStation 4. It's Uplink up next after this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and let's take a look at our key player matchup presented by G Fuel. It's going to be Apathy going up against Buzzo, buddy.
Yeah, stat breakdown is quite simple to see there. Hardpoint KD about even, but S&D Apathy is absolutely lights out. Both those guys quite veteran players, but now it is time for game number 3 about to get underway. It will be Uplink in this best-of-5 matchup. As we know, it's now tied 1-1 between these two teams. Envy strike first in the Hardpoint, but Mindfreak continue to look good in Search and Destroy.
And those stats, you know, when we talk about Buzzo, I mean, Apathy, you like expect him to be a monster. Buzzo, not to knock him, but we haven't had the expectations we put on like some of their elite players. Like Shox is the guy we expect to go off, but Buzzo, who would you kind of compare him to? Almost two Aches of Ricky from Cloud9. Like you don't really expect them to be the guys that go off. You expect that to be Lacefield and obviously Assault. But when he does play well,
yeah,
like this team is just way scarier.
I mean, it's kind of like JCap on Envy, if I'm being completely honest. It's the same sort of thing. He's got 3 Slayers around him. Buzzo's just the guy that's kind of there, making sure that his team keeps the glue together, right? Yeah. Even whether that's in-game or out of game. Even earlier when I interviewed Excite, he walks up, Buzzo walks up and goes, Cody, talk slow, talk slow. I don't know why I sound European or from the UK, but I'm just gonna not do it with an accent. He tells him, slow down, be good on camera. He's like their dad. He's like the dad of this team.
I'd like to see you on like whose line is it anyway?
Most people wouldn't.
No, it's probably.
I think you'd like to see me do that because I would just fail epically.
Yeah, but shot on Excite right now.
We really do look so similar.
He's just
actually crazy.
He's like the ogre version of you, just a giant courage.
Wow.
He's huge.
I don't know.
Like,
ogre.
He's like I'm 6'3". I think he's taller than I am. He is tall, man.
He is, but he's also a handsome individual. And so is Apathy, and so is everyone involved in the production of the Call of Duty World League Global Pro League Stage 1 presented by the PS4.
Well, now into the rig draft as we're getting ready for map 3. If you are just joining us, all tied up at 1 apiece. This is looking similar to like our first series of the day, one that could be poised to go the distance, Jack. And I'm ready, buddy.
Oh, I am too. And this is Precinct Uplink, the first time we're seeing it in the Global Pro League, a map where statue control is so key, whether you're on the side trying to score at apartments or the side trying to score at that back station area. Another thing to watch out for is that middle lobby room control. Getting into one of those powerful covers where only your head can be seen can put you on a streak that could absolutely change the map.
And taking a look at this, one of EnVy's worst maps and modes. They won 0 at Dallas. I mean, we all remember the Splice, just destruction of them on this map in Paris. They haven't been very good at Precinct Uplink. For whatever reason, it's one that they struggle on. Maybe this can be an opening here for Mindfreak as we get ready to go. What do you think? Can Mindfreak take the respawn here?
I do. I actually do think Mindfreak could take this one, but I will say one thing. Envy, if they shoot the way they did towards the second half of that hard point, this one could get quite ugly. I just need every player on Envy to be involved. We cannot have someone falling behind, going triple, quadruple, and negative like we had a couple times in their first series. What side do we see coming into this game? We'll have to find out. It's another battle of 2 different regions. We've seen it twice so far today, and both times it's been NA failing to perform on the main stage.
That's just a testament to how great the Call of Duty World League has been. I mean, I've been involved with Call of Duty now for, what, four or so years, since the tail end of Black Ops 2, and I've just seen so much more of these top teams globally going up against each other with tons and tons of money on the line. But here we go, off to the races. Kicking things off with Apathy. You can see a 2-2 split going to be coming in for Envy as they look to push in the lobby.
Envy, what can you do now to take the 2-1 series lead? It starts off with early drone control, and they don't actually have it because Buzzo and Excite have won these gunfights towards this outer statue area. It's Slasher, look at him, he's just retreating, trying to get back towards his teammates. Unfortunately, though, does get cut down before he can find some cover.
Slasher, though, the first gunfight he won was the big one. If he had dropped, everything was wide open, and Mindfreak would have kept pushing forward. So he does just enough. 1 kill, stays alive, enough for his team to come off spawn, and that's going to slow things down for the time being for Mindfreak as the slide comes through big.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm glad you mentioned the slide. John just slid in, got 2, slid back out, got another. Envy, Apathy, and John, to be absolutely specific, are 2 of the better players with the slide function, and I've seen people on Twitter rage about how good they are with it.
I heard, I think I was talking to Matt earlier. I can't remember which player he spoke to.
Wow, nice play.
But a lot of, I guess some people were comparing, you know, the AW dash, how there was definitely like a skill to it in the movement. There are some players that are just better at sliding into engagements, out of engagements. He was mentioning a player like Gunless, who it's a skill, and you will win a lot of gunfights based off your ability to use that slide in combat.
And that's why it frustrates some players who just aren't as good at it, because you're wondering, how do they make it look so easy? And when you're at a pro level, for some of these guys, they want to master every part of the game. Some are just better than others, just like the first uplink for Mindfreak. They do strike first in this series, or in this game, sorry, with the first dunk in just the first 60 seconds.
It's wild thinking about how dominant North American teams were back in AW when Uplink first was introduced, like how superior they were to every other region. It just seems like over the past couple of years, everybody continues to catch up. EU has been, I mean, I think at Dallas, 6 of the teams won their first Uplink series versus North American teams. They've caught up in that capacity, and we've seen tighter and tighter matches, but now it's EnVy's turn to try and get some points on the board. The one-pointer is away. They've tacked one on, Jack.
Nice job by JCap to just get that across. His teammates were dying around him. Basically just a desperation throw, and he does connect from range, so it will go back to just a one-possession game. And here's that cover I was talking about. Inside lobby, if you get a player like Slasher there, he can just shred the opposing team. Does get a little bit aggressive, though, because they're trying to stop this Mindfreak push from this outer statue area.
And this is EnVy struggling again. Okay, so remember the first series we casted? Every time EnVy scored, they gave up a counterattack, score for Splice. It just happened again. They get 1 point on the board. Mindfreak, wide open, drone at mid-map. They run up. They got a one-pointer through immediately. So what does EnVy need to do to slow those, close those cracks? It's like there's an opening are they putting too much into getting their points on the board that they're leaving something open for a counter each time?
I mean, think of how that just happened. EnVy sent all these players towards the overextension towards this back gas area. They had 3 players die. Their final person up was Slasher, who was trying to supplement that push. And during that time, they grabbed the drone, they moved it towards statue, they ran it in for the quick one. It's like they're just like 10 steps behind in regards to physically steps. Obviously there may be a couple seconds, but in game, if Slasher's just a little bit closer, 1 kill stops that from being a score.
I mean, that's the testament to pretty much every Call of Duty. Over the course of the year, the game gets faster and faster and faster. And those players that can't keep up with the new pace of the game sometimes lag behind. I mean, you got to be able to play at the tempo of your opposition, but there it is. JCap tying things up, and you got a streak now up to 7 for everybody on the side of EnVy. But now they get cleared out. But John, though, he's 300 off of picking up some streaks as he drops now.
He'll have to fall back.
Sets, yeah.
EnVy had the right idea. Unfortunately, once they lost control of that back gas side, you kind of saw it all collapse right underneath them. Mindfreak will stop the bleeding for the moment, but that 3-0 lead is now all tied up at 4-4. And it's John and JCap, again, still trying to stay alive near the statue side. John now double positive at 14-7.
There's 1 team kill that comes through there for the side of EnVy. It doesn't look like it's going to punish them quite yet. You still have statue and drone control for Mindfreak as they're looking to kind of just continue to close onto this EnVy side, but they're doing just enough defensively to get it done. John, Slasher, Apathy, all finding kills, and now it's a change of possession. EnVy moving forward, 30 seconds on the clock. Slasher first engagement, he just zips up, exciting. There's 1 point over the top, a ticket, and they've got a 5-4 lead.
And now this is where it gets scary. This is where EnVy are going to look to rally this drone. Oh, that would have been a nice kill for Slasher to get to stop this drone carrier from having to worry about someone being near him. The cleanup does come in. This could be a potential dunk for EnVy, and yes, it will. EnVy score, 6 unanswered points to bring this game to a 3-point lead going into side number 2.
It's almost exactly as I asked what was going wrong with their game after they give up that counter one-pointer. They just destroyed. They completely controlled the map. I mean, there were a couple, not even really opportunities for Mindfreak, but they had that, 60 seconds where they were kind of pinned at statue or had EnVy kind of backed up at their base. But as soon as they got that clear out, they just started rolling.
I get the vibe with EnVy at times where it's just like, you know what? When there's a player on their team that's just going off, they just let him keep going. Whatever's working, just do it. We'll play around you. And that player right now is John. I'm happy we're on board with him. The guy's at 19-8, leading the game in kills. Almost makes it 20 right there. The assist does come in from his teammate, and it's Apathy bouncing around inside ATM. clearing out the Mindfreak squad, and already EnVy in control of the drone.
And it's got to feel good. Again, John, not the best first series of the weekend to kick things off. You know, he had the really tough game 4, but he has been electric here in the game 3 versus Mindfreak. They're now up 3. JCap looking for points. One in front. It's short as he whiffs, but he's still there. Maybe able to find the kill around the edge, but the reset does come through.
And now Mindfreak, they do actually get an awkward spawn inside Statue. It's going to be Shocks there, just staying alive. That's a saving grace for the side of MF. Well, typically right there, with JCap pushing up, he had a teammate who was already in Park, which opened up that Statue spawn. And another missed 1 point, so that's 2 now on this side between these squads. So
get the dunk, they should, right?
No, there's a save. Slasher comes off spawn and cleans him up.
I thought they were going to get it there. Still 2 players up when the miss went through, but that may be costly. It's still going to be a 2-possession game as Mindfreak can't get anything on the board. Now Slasher and the boys starting to work around the bottom side of the map towards construction. Unfortunately, they left the drone behind.
There you go.
He's now able to get it.
That's kind of important.
But his teammates dropped as they started to push forward, so this is like a 1-on-3 type play. But he's able to get gun up, not able to win the one, but the pass does come forward. Now Apathy there for the pass, there for the dunk, and they've got a 5-point edge.
They're just starting to run away with this game. It's beautiful to see because John and Slasher, 2 of the guys that helped fuel that championship run to end the Black Ops 3 season, are showing up. Both players have now eclipsed that 20-kill mark. And there's just 3 minutes left in this game, Maven. Mindfreak, they've looked quiet since they got those first 4 points on the board.
They really, really have. Slasher, though, gets cut down. Jack, that's a couple goals go in the favor of Mindfreak. They have drone here for Shocks. They have cover mid-street. Excite finds 2, and this is a great opportunity for a dunk and more towards this camo. So he's got a ways to go. He's got to find several more kills here before he gets it, but that could be the key difference over the final 2.5 minutes.
One thing I do want to touch on right there was I question the decision to send both players as, you saw him get close to the streaks right there. They sent the player who was with him at that back gas side to push the drone portal and get the dunk. So basically EnVy, instead of being spawn trapped in back alley, were able to just push out gas, and Mindfreak couldn't do anything else off of that. It was just kind of an awkward play. I'd love to hear more from the analysts on that one because I just don't agree with what they did right there.
Well, you've done enough to at least get it close here. Trailing by 3. Excite, nice shot. Shocks picks up one more. They want to take it back to mid-map. He's got Shocks leading the way, but John finds the kill. Wisely gets the 1-point toss and stays alive to be a threat here. Got eyes on another. Fuzzo trying to hold on. He finds that kill on JCap. It may not have made a huge difference because Ticket has 2 players from EnVy inside, and they found the kills at home. So EnVy, for the time being, able to find a bit of a control, but Shocks again, man. Shocks has just been disgusting. 24 and 17.
He's been by far the most consistent player today. He's doing so well for his team. 9-7, a 1-possession game we're back down to. Mindfreak can absolutely make this happen. Remember, this is a best-of-5 series. You've got Camo here now as well. Pop it. There it is. This should be a dunk. 9-9 will be the score with 90 seconds left. And he gets another.
9-9, but you still have the camo opportunity if they get to it on the other side, but you've got them locked.
This will be a dunk as well.
You have Scarab out, you have streaks to work with, you should take a 2-point advantage with just over a minute to go. There's the dunk. The kill's still coming through. They've got them pinned mid-street and back. They get 2 lineup shots in the back too. I didn't realize he actually tagged them both. A bit of a collateral through the back. Shocks just electric through this one as he continues to dominate EnVy.
If this is my first day ever of watching Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, I think Shocks is the best player in the world.
He's been amazing, man. I saw, Marky B, some of the other pro players, Joe from EU, going off about how good Shocks has been. The guy has been so incredible to watch, but now it's on Apathy and EnVy Jack to try and make a play here. They've got Drone in a forward position and now looking to find a couple of points.
Apathy wants to kill so badly to get that reactive armor. It just doesn't work out for him there. Slasher's last alive. There's a reactive used by Fida. And looky here, no camo from Slasher. 25 seconds left. I think Mindfreak are gonna do it.
That reactive is perfect. He doesn't know he's probably killing the camo player, but killing Slasher there just short of camo is absolutely brilliant. And John, though, as he finds the kill, the overdrive is through. They've got a chance to go. 10 seconds on the clock, up over the top.
Oh my God!
Tie game, still finding kills. Can anyone get a toss off? I don't think there's enough time. The final seconds tick away, and we've got OT, baby.
If I'm EnVy right now, I'm setting up around a camo play to get a very quick dunk in this overtime.
That's true, that's right. You only had to use the overdrive.
I want to strike in 20 seconds right here.
So that means Slasher has the ability to make a play. He's got that camo. How early can they strike? Just go for that like 10-point, 1-point dagger?
Yeah.
Or sorry, 10-second, 1-point dagger, 10-point. Oh, the 10-point, 1-pointer.
It's like a 10-point ultra score in Uplink. 3 players need to jump into the portal together. That would be crazy.
Now,
but here's an example of it. Slasher's going to go right ahead, pick up this drone. He's going to bring it towards ATM.
Oh, grab it, please.
Now, you get a first kill here, and you bring it towards ATM. Camo right now. Go. Perfect play. They're going to try to score within the first 20 seconds. 18, that works for me.
All right.
Smart play from EnVy. Maybe they could have gone for a dunk. It's a safe play, and basically with that right there, they're saying, we don't think there's any way Mindfreak can match it.
Imagine if they lose by like a second or two, and that little bit where he missed the drone the first time and had to run back.
That would be hysterical.
You hope that doesn't cost him. 18 seconds, still very, very fast, but you could have scored there a couple seconds earlier.
Now, I want to ask Saint, our observer, let's check out these payloads. Are there any available for the side of Mindfreak? No.
Nothing.
So the only thing there is on EnVy. There's going to be no overdrive to use to give them an advantage.
First kill.
First kill. Come in. They've got the drone moving towards this ATM side. It has been dropped on the ground. It's all up to Shocks, and he's now dead. EnVy hold.
That's it.
The boys in blue will go up 2-1.
EnVy takes the edge in this series with got a heroic overdrive to close the second round, the end of regulation, and then a great camo play. And that's why camo is so important. And yeah, I know people talk about how powerful it is and how much you can abuse it to get certain areas of the map, make certain plays, but there it's just you save it. You end up holding on to it. You get a little bit later in the game, and it ends up coming out beautifully there in OT.
You know, payloads are pretty good, Nathan.
They're supposed to be, though, right?
Yes. Especially, I mean, Camo's earned once a game, and there, he just uses it well, gets the 1-point throw in overtime. I said it the second I saw he had Camo ready to go. I was like, they're going to use it for a quick score right at the break. It makes sense, and they want to make
the big difference is the fact that you didn't need it to get the dunk. You used the overdrive instead, which is able to get you 2 through, leaves the camo, and now EnVy in control. So Mindfreak drops their second map of the weekend, but they've still looked good. I mean, they played EnVy very, very tight. It looked like they were going to run away with the game early in the first half.
They played with them tight in the hardpoint as well. But very well could have been a 3-0 series for Mindfreak if they just changed up a couple things in that first hardpoint, and then obviously stop the overdrive play from JCap in the end. You think of that scenario right there. Was that 1 kill by John enough in that final push to open up that lane for JCap to use that overdrive? Was that the difference maker in that game? It very well could have been.
And you got to think, I mean, how good is Splice looking right now when you think about the fact that, you know, Mindfreak basically beats up Cloud9 in the respawns. EnVy is destroying Mindfreak, well, not destroying, but they're beating them in the respawns. Splice sort of had their way with EnVy in the respawn. So Splice looks to be sitting atop. I know they started out 1-0, but they definitely look to be the class act of the bunch right now.
Can Mindfreak force the game 5 is the question. They've yet to lose that so far this weekend. Search and destroy. So
I think we're like game 5. Like, well, what?
No. Search and destroy in general. There's your box score from that one. 34 kills from Shocks.
So he's averaging,
I mean,
what, 37.5 kills or whatever?
In Uplink.
Well, he dropped 40 and then he dropped 34. I mean, he's been insane.
Yeah, no, 40 and 34. Definitely, when you average those together, it's 37.5. I like the math.
Yeah, I was about to say 38, and then my brain started working.
No, you're good. You're all good. 37.5.
Oh, that's not correct either.
No, it's not.
No,
that's a joke.
Oh man,
it's fine. It's fine. I mean, when was the last time you were in a math class? It was probably like 1980.
It was a long time ago. See, you don't need kids. You don't need math. You have calculators now. They're on your phones.
There you go. That's the quote of the day. There you go, kids. You don't need to learn math. You've got calculators.
You'll be just fine. My TI 83 Plus was beautiful. I wonder what they use nowadays.
I used to play like old pixel games on those. I don't know.
Snake and
yes,
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you saw there statistically Cap struggling. Well, 0.58 did not have a very good game. So that's what you mentioned in their first series that. It was one player kind of struggling, right? In each of their maps. It was John, obviously, in the game 4. Now in this one, they still take it despite the fact that JCap not having a very good game. I mean, who is it that's really just stepped up for this side?
For EnVy or
for EnVy. I mean, the fact that JCap gets a 0.58 and you're still able to take the game.
Oh, you saw John in that game really making an impact. You saw the 3-piece with the slides, which was awesome to watch inside that statue area. We were highlighting that prior to that map starting. They need to keep it going right now if you're EnVyUs. I want to see EnVy show why they are one of the best teams in the world right here, right? And that is come out on this throwback hardpoint and just destroy Mindfreak. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. Do I think they are capable of doing it? Absolutely.
Well, you see a shot of them now focused. You know, you didn't hear maybe as much screaming and hype coming out of them. It was a stressful game, down to the wire. And now it's going to be throwback Hardpoint. You know, we've talked about the Hardpoint woes from Mindfreak throughout the course of day one. But they played, you know, they played people tough. Can they do it here on throwback? Shox has to be, I mean, as good as he's been at every map so far, basically. He cannot slow down one bit.
If you're watching on your browser, hello. If you're watching on your PlayStation 4, howdy. If you're watching here live from the venue, basically I'm just talking to the analyst desk. It's been a pleasure working with you guys today. I'm ready for game number 4 to start on off. Benson just gave me one of his own versions of the gestures that we've been seeing so far in game today. One that I cannot repeat on camera.
The British bow.
Yes, the British are they're such a lovely people.
They are, but now, game 4, Envy has the edge. We're gonna kick things off with John, who has bounced back from a subpar first series to come alive a bit here in his second one on day 1.
These are the 16 best teams in the world in the CWL Global Pro League, and 2 of them are battling it out right now. First blood actually is on to John. That's Fida from the ANZ region. And kills are just being traded back and forth. Now Maven throwback Hardpoint, a map where the spawns, I think for a viewer at home, might be a little bit tougher to kind of get an understanding of, right? Especially towards these middle hills where the slightest differences in where a player is looking, where a grenade is expected to land, where one player is positioned can make the difference on one team spawning on the left side of your minimap and all the way on the right side. Yeah,
we'll see that a lot. You know, when we watch Bike Path 2, some of the split spawns that you can give teams, or they can spawn if you don't hold the correct side. You know, think about Statue. If you don't push out blue properly, they can spawn right next to you. Just keep flooding and flooding and flooding.
Yep.
It can be a very, very finicky map. You need to be a disciplined team. Communication has to be on point here, specifically for control of these spawns. We're now about to rotate over to Barn.
And right now, those spawns are being held by Mindfreak. They'll go ahead and forfeit middle map control to play for this barn area. All 4 blue arrows of Team EnVyUs are surging through middle. Are Mindfreak prepared for this? Watching towards his bottom grannies. Nice job by Shox to recognize that play, as MF do get 3 kills in a row.
They pick it up. The pinch starting to develop now. It looks like 4 side of Envy. Who is that? Number 2? Fido was out at mid-map trying to catch them. They all actually pushed through courtyard. Envy still holding strong, man. Or sorry. Mindfreak still holding strong. They've been basically perfect here in Barn.
Shox is 8 and 9 and 2. A 7 streak. I mean, come on. This guy, he's got to have earned some new fans today.
He has to have. I know that I am one. Shox has been an absolute animal. Can the streak keep going? He's not far off his Trinity and possible bombardment. Taking a look at the minimap, the bottom going to be controlled, where we're going to rotate out here for Envy. Racking up the final bit of time. It's 66-11.
Full 60 on that hill.
What a beautiful hold in Barn. Able to finish up the weak play. Player now 50 off the bombardment. The streak now up to 8. You can see he's playing his life, playing slow. Even wants to maybe bait a teammate if he needs to, just to find that final kill.
They should go right now. Their teammates are pushing down the bike path. They should begin to make the play, and yes, there is the call. 1 kill away, fully streaked out now, 9 in a row, going for number 10. He gets the help from his teammate. The break does come in. Shox is going off today on the main stage.
He finally drops there, but he does get fully streaked out. So maybe if he was playing his life a bit too, well, you know, he wanted to get fully streaked. The pinch maybe came a little bit slow. Envy got some time there, but you have streaks to work with. Those are going to pay dividends later in the game if this is a tight one. But Envy looking to try and fight back. JCap gets dropped by Buzzo pretty much immediately. And now things starting to slow down a little bit here at Bike Path.
Again, scrap time going over to Mindfreak. 75-36 the score. Envy are set up and ready for this blue push, and they just had a teammate spawn up near that top blue side of the map. So they know everyone is pushing towards this top ticket area. What can Envy do to stop 4 players surging to this side? That's not going to be the right start they want. Slasher now dead.
Slasher drops. It's John trying to get the support. Shot a little all over the place, and the second player in bowling. Shox is actually going to use one of those streaks. Now, it looks like for now it has paid off as they've got control of Statue. Slasher trying to tag him up, but he's just playing his life, waiting for them to come forward. Hello!
Okay, that just gave him a little tickle right there. As he'll just go ahead and wait for the help of his teammates. I love the aggressive play we've seen from Mindfreak, even to break this hard point. When you get that first kill on the Slasher, they just flood right on in because Slasher spawns up at that blue side. They have a window to get a number advantage, and they use it to their advantage right there to bring this game up to a 40-second lead. EnVy fighting from the back foot as we move towards our second rotation.
Well, as we rotate across, it was Excite picking up the first kill. Shox finds the second. Excite another. That's 3 kills in a row for Mindfreak. And inside with the Scarabout will be Fida. He's going to go up top, catch JCap in the face, at least weaken him up and back him down for the moment as a teammate actually cleans it up. Fida not having to do a lot yet as his teammates finding the kills all around him. He's actually going to push in through, catches Slasher with his pants down inside the window. There's one below in front. He's going to find that as well. Fida going off. There's a third down below him. Shots just a little off, and eventually he does drop.
And it's so funny to see, Maven, that exactly here, Fida, you know, almost a minute inside the objective. Yeah, his teammates all around him getting all these kills, but you know what? What make Mindfreak such a good team is they say, okay, you know what? I'll be the one to sit in the hard point. Yeah. You guys make all the flashy plays. All that matters is the win.
One of my favorite plays when you know a team's dominating is when you go to the guy in the hard point and he's just laying there. Yeah. When he doesn't have to even shoot at anything, you'll see some kills like, oh, they look like they had a rough game. They only had 15 kills, but then you see they had 2.5 minutes in the hard point. It's like, well, they didn't need to get involved.
Or you look at the scoreboard and he's got 15 objectives, engagements, while his teammates have 30.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't need to fight anybody.
That's when you know your team's really dominating and controlling the spawns in the hard point. But here we go, second time in Barn. Last time Mindfreak perfect. This time, EnVy looking to hold inside. Can we get a flip of fortune here as EnVy tries to fight back? The first couple kills going their way, Jack.
And remember, last time EnVy came back in hardpoint, it was because 1 or 2 players began to heat up. Right now, it's John on the 4th streak. He's got the Scarab ready to go. He's going to call that in as well to clear out this top field side. They're putting a lot of resources into this, and it's because if they hold the rest of this time, they will be exactly tied up with the side of Mindfreak.
That's got to be frustrating. You call the Scarab in, you get information for your team that there's 2 in field, but you end up getting shot from behind. Regardless, though, his teammates able to hold everything down. They find all 3 kills around Barn, and that's what they pick it up around 50 seconds, so they get the final 50 there, and we're going to have nearly a tie game as we head back to bike path.
So both times we've been at Barn, it's been a team basically holding the full 60.
And doesn't this remind you a little bit of game 1, though?
Yeah.
Mindfreak looking good early. All of a sudden, EnVy starts to come alive. 3 in a row. Apathy has a streak going. Slasher, 5 streak going.
Slasher all the streaks have just ended. But no, EnVy again, they start having a couple of their key slayers chain some kills together. That then results in map positioning, and when EnVy are in the position they want on the map, they're one of the better teams at holding that, using it to their advantage. They know where they need to look. When those streaks come into play, EnVy hold it for the correct time. They've got that veteran leadership that few teams have.
Well, now it's Mindfreak's turn to try and answer back. The key rotation coming up next to Statue. It's Buzzo we're swapping to because he's the one that's going to have big gunfights. It's going to be Apathy that's pushing. Apathy, sorry, buddy, we're already here. It's a 1v2 there. That's props to 2 guys getting in the back, but as JCap comes around a little bit delayed, it's JCap and John then that are able to pinch, and EnVy gets control. So it looked really good for Mindfreak at first, right? You had a 2-on-1, but things fell apart quickly.
What a challenge right there from Apathy. Able to cut down Excite, and there's the help from his duo, John. Again, that 2-piece, John on a 3 streak. The difference of play we've seen from him from Series 1 to Series 2 has been night and day. An unfortunate team kill there, but I feel like John would have bet his maker anyway in that scenario. 2 versus 4 now near this hard point, as I do believe the APAC team will get the break.
They got a break, and they have 30 seconds left here to put a bit of separation between them and EnVy. So they let EnVy come back. They let EnVy get the lead. Last time they were never able to really regain that in the first hardpoint of this series. Can they put EnVy away now? No lead seems safe in this series for Mindfreak at the hardpoints.
No, not at all. And Buzzo knows what this final player from EnVy is. I think EnVy are going to push for the scrap time. They want these 8 seconds. Okay. They'll go ahead and take it. So the lead going towards the end of the first set of rotations, a little bit different now going into the second set of rotations. And it is EnVy still down by 20. Mindfreak holding onto this lead barely.
We're back to the train plat. Apathy has reactive armor. He's playing in the top window. His teammate inside. He's just waiting patiently to try and find a kill. If anyone pushed for top superiority, no one's going to do it, so he's just biding his time. He's got a couple players in front, maybe a little bit out of the comfort range there for the Erad, but okay, you can walk into my range. As he finds one, there's a second in the back, and Apathy continues to roll now up to 25 and 21, and the Scarab is out.
Here's an example of where EnVy begin to snowball. Scarab comes into play, Apathy just going to stay alive. He's got the ARs watching over him. We saw a brief highlight of what he's capable of with just snapping when he has a submachine gun in his hand. Key thing to take note of, though, Maven, Barn. Both times so far this game, they've been held by a full 60 by the team that is there on the early rotation.
Yep.
Second time around, it was Envy who got that full time. Again, it's Envy here, looking to make that same fortune happen. Let's see if they can get it done.
But the difference here is this is where you have the payloads available, right? Breaks are a little bit more possible. Excite just went ahead and used his. That got shut down. Jacob finds one as well. You have the camo if you need to use it. And this is the last player. He gets now you have a bit of a stagger spawn, right? Let's see where he actually ends up popping on the mini-map. As one more player, oh, look at where he just spawned. Buzzo spawns at Statue, so you're not gonna get another 4-on-4 engagement. This is all gonna go to Envy.
Yeah, and there's the cleanup. JCap and John again. So 3 times now on this map, Maven. The team that rotates early will get the full 60 unless Mindfreak can have a miraculous break right here. They do get the entry kill from Excite. Buzzo's there for the help. I think they're gonna make it happen. Nice job by them to at least stop the bleeding for now.
Wow, you at least get the final 15. That's huge. As soon as I saw where Buzzo spawned in no man's land, I thought it was gonna turn into just like a stagger, right? They weren't gonna get another full 4-man push, but they're able to get it done. It's contested for now, but the final seconds will go through, and they're gonna be trailing by just under 15 points as we rotate over to bike path. It's Envy set up. And now you have to be careful here, because if you put too much pressure on one side, you can force a split spawn very, very easily. But you see that Slasher ran all the way out because the streaks are coming through.
Yeah, they do go ahead and drop them on down, so the break will come in. Centurion ready to go, and I like this play a lot. I do agree with this. They drop it on down. The trophy system will defend him for the moment, and now it's up to Envy to go for this break. They've got players fighting for middle map control.
Apathy wins one he maybe shouldn't have against an NV4 at that range, but the ERAD was on point, and now it's Excite. Just look at the contest, finds him in the corner, gets shut down almost immediately as Envy just about to hit this 240 mark, but Shox able to contest for the time being. He has the camo to work with. He's gonna hopefully save that for Statue play, but will they even get there? Yes, so there's enough time. They can test it long enough that they're at least gonna play for Statue. The reactive armor comes out and Fida gets nothing done with it, and Apathy's already set up at Statue.
Yeah, Apathy is here. Shox, saving grace could be this active camo. Envy just need 10 more seconds.
Apathy's still there. Apathy's still there.
Yeah, wait.
They're all there.
Where's Shox going?
I don't know if
what's he doing?
He didn't realize the entire team was already there.
Wait, what?
He didn't realize the whole team was there, and that does it.
Okay.
Envy gets it. I thought Shox was going to use the camo and push through, try to get behind multiple players. Maybe he thought that was the only one. They hadn't all rotated back yet.
Seems like a miscommunication there at the end from Mindfreak, but either way, it's Envy bouncing back from their first series today to take that one 3-1 over APAC's best. John looking much, much better in that series, Maven.
Yeah, he really did, and props to him. You know, we talked about it a couple times, but they saw him in the back practicing after the rough series, prepped, got warmed up. Maybe it was just a bit of rust. You know, his first series of the day, obviously, to kick it off on day one, but he definitely bounced back, and Envy looks strong. But Mindfreak, you play back-to-back matches, you go 1-1, you got to feel good about that. But you did. You could have beat Envy. You very well could have. Yeah. No one watching that doesn't think they could have taken that series. You had a lead to start off both hardpoints and a lead to kick. Oh, actually, you had a lead to start off all three respawns.
Yeah, basically every single game in that series. Yeah. Outside some moments in the S&D. If I'm Mindfreak though, is it frustrating to lose that series? Yes, but at the end of the day, I got a 3-0 win. My map count overall is pretty decent. It's still on the positive, obviously, and now we're looking ahead to Saturday. Who are they going to face next? They have a match to watch. We still have one more tonight, which will be Splice versus Cloud9, another region battle, which is the fun thing about this group, right? It just kind of worked out that the first week was 2 North American teams, a European team, and our only APAC team.
Well, so far, day one has been phenomenal, but there has been great play throughout all the teams, but one of the special players in this series thus far was Slasher, and we've got Puckett with him on the floor.
That's right. Thank you, guys. I am here with Austin Liddycoat. Austin, talk to me, first of all. What happened after the loss to Splice? What did you guys talk about? What did you fix coming into this matchup?
We just went back, warmed up a little bit more, talked about our mistakes, but the mistakes are still the same things that we've been doing online, and we just haven't fixed them 100%. We fixed them 80, but we need that full 100 to be the best we can be, and we just haven't got there yet.
It seems that you are one of the more consistent players for Envy this weekend. Have you been working on anything individually, or is it just the way the whole team is playing right now?
I mean, I've got a lot better because I spent more time playing the game now since I graduated and got my degree, so I think that's really what helped me.
Yeah, and let's spam some congrats in the chat here. This man, college graduate, getting the job done, now focusing on games full-time. Tell me about this matchup, though, in particular against Mindfreak. You had Tasmo biting his fingernails, your manager upstairs. He didn't expect it to be this close. What was this matchup like for you?
I don't think we expected to be this close either, to be honest. Like I said, we're still making a little bit of mistakes. Our communication isn't all there. And I feel like we're not playing 100% yet, and that's why the match was close. But we still were able to edge it out just by a little bit.
And, of course, tomorrow you have one more team to play here in the initial round robin, and that'll be up against Cloud9, who's taking the main stage next. Will you guys be sticking around to watch them, or are you just going to go home, get ready for tomorrow?
We'll probably stick around a little bit, talk a little bit more about what we're doing, and watch the match and get ready for tomorrow.
All right, well, best of luck, my friend. Once again, congratulations on graduating. For now, though, let's send it back to Benson at the desk.
Thank you very much, Chris. Of course, for Team EnVyUs, that now will put them at 1-1 in the group. And same for Mindfreak, 1-1. But we'll talk about the series now, starting off with, of course, map number 1. It was a 250 to 190 point win for Team EnVyUs. And I think one of the big things that we have to note was just the improvement of John. He played so much better. Kama, what was the difference? How do you do that as a player when you have such a poor series and then all of a sudden you come back and you're just firing missiles, it felt like?
Well, when you're coming in and you have a bad series, what you have to do is you have to go back, warm up, get your head back into the game, and that's exactly what John did. You know, we walked back there. He was the only one sitting there from their team. Everyone else, you know, looked like they were eating, but John was focused on his gameplay, and he came out. He had a really great series. I think he was top fragging almost every map, I think.
Yep.
So it's just a testament. Like, John's a good player. He knows what he had to do, and he went out and did it.
That first Hardpoint as well was a little strange because Mindfreak came out of the gate strong and it looked as if they were really going to control it, and then EnVy came back a little bit deep, and then EnVy just took full control of map number 1. It was a very weird one to watch.
Yeah, talk about those issues that EnVy has been having overall. I think it's the setups initially when they're holding some of these hard points. In the series, especially versus Splice, they're spreading out super far apart. They're getting the intro time to a lot of hills, and then this series was kind of the opposite, right? They're able to hold those setups so consistently. There are certain hard points on each map where they're able to get so much time consistently on both rotations, and really impressive stuff and way to fix their issues.
Obviously, you talk about those important hard points, Merc. You kind of pointed it out. Bridge and Hangar, they seem to be the key to success right there.
Yeah, I mean, especially Hangar. I mean, they won it 94 to 21, I believe. I mean, that's a difference in the game. And
Brutal.
EnVy just holding down those spawns. But something we haven't really touched on is just EnVy just started off really slow in every single game, and that's a huge issue, especially against a team like Splice, who they lost to earlier today. They have to play at 100% right out of the gates.
And of course, moving over to map number 2, it was Search and Destroy once again, and you know the Australians proving that they are very talented at Search and Destroy. And that leads me again, Karma. Have you been impressed by the Australian Search and Destroy? I know in one of the interviews we heard them say, you know, Americans have asked us about our Search game, and we've kind of given them some advice and whatnot. But have you truly been impressed?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Mindfreak Search. I'd like to say it's kind of reminiscent of our Search now. I see them doing a lot of the right things compared to where EnVy was. Like, sometimes they're doing the right things, but then they weren't. And one thing I'd like to bring up is there was one round Mindfreak. They double hit wall run to B bomb site on Crusher, and EnVy had 4-stacked it or 3-stacked whatever. But in my eyes, if you're going to 3 or 4-stack B bomb site on Crusher on defense, you got to hit it. You got to take control of it. But no, they let them double hit wall run, which really you can't do, because all you have to do is lay down in the tunnel, watch the wall run, you're going to get a free kill. And, I mean, they didn't do that. So I am impressed with Mindfreak's S&D. Through both series they've played so far, they've looked really good in it. And I really think they could have won these matches by like 6-2, 6-3. Yeah, they've went 6-4 both times, but I'm really impressed with them.
As you mentioned, map number 2, of course, a 6-4 victory for Mindfreak. But Teep, you know something a little interesting, maybe a fun tidbit about Buzzo.
Yeah, I don't know how much, sort of stock to put into this, but so 10 rounds happened, right? 6-4. Yep. Buzz only dies 4 times.
Okay.
Therefore, Buzz is the factor. When he's alive, they win rounds.
There you go. Makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Makes a lot of logical sense. Buzzo is the key, people. And to his credit as well, he has impressed a lot of us. I know when we go back and look at some of the previous events, we've kind of looked at Buzzo, put him under the spotlight and said, he needs to step up when it comes to Respawn. Obviously, moving forward, looking at the next Respawn, of course, the Uplink. I mean, that one, it was interesting. Let's just put it that way, especially the ending. I know, Merc, you were looking at the meeting off saying, what are you doing, Mindfreak? Why have you left the drone? Why have you left the drone? What happened to close?
Yeah, so I mean, it was 11-9, I believe. Mindfreak was up, and instead of just sort of taking that drone back to their base and rotating it through gas station, just making EnVy chase, they decided to drop the drone down And really that allows EnVy another opportunity to get a slay. And John, I think, picks up a 2-piece. JCap stays alive. He's able to pop overdrive, and they have camo going into overtime. So just in that specific situation, you would like to see them at least hold on to that drone, you know, make them chase you, and then as soon as they get close, sort of throw it out and reset it.
Obviously, you talk a little bit about the overdrive. See, that was the key, right? Cap making that overdrive play right towards the end of the map.
And we've seen it so many times. I don't know why Mindfreak didn't decide to just play a little bit of keep away. You had drone control. You got those kills over towards that statue. Just pick it up and get out. Take it all the way back towards spawn. Take it towards gas. Anywhere, really.
Right.
Or just leave it there. Cap stays alive, has the payload ability at the perfect timing, and such a clutch play from Cap overall.
And I was going to say, even before that, you know, Cap had, when he initially got overdrive, we thought he was going to do it with about, 30 seconds left.
Right.
Instead, Apathy gets stuck with the ball, I think, back L wall or maze, whichever you call it. And then Cap team kills, and then he dies. And then we thought, I mean, we thought it was over, right? But then they come back, and Mindfreak just leaves the ball there, kind of like what happened in the Splice EnVy series. Don't leave the ball there, man. Especially if you know they have specialists. You know, look at the score. You can see he has enough points.
Right. And then you mentioned the specialists, and that was really the key when you go over to overtime, right? You had EnVy sat there with those specialists, and then you have Mindfreak without them, and I mean, that's only going to go one way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Slasher makes a smart decision. They win the initial battle, which is the big thing. They win that initial battle, which allows him to pop camo. He decides, you know what, I'm going to just get a throw. Basically put, 18 seconds? Mindfreak, no, it's basically done.
Right, and then, of course, at that point, you have EnVyUs up 2-1. We head over to map 4, Hardpoint. And Teep, it was deja vu. I felt like I was watching map number 1 again. You know, you have Mindfreak coming out looking very, very strong. EnVy kind of catch up a little bit. They control a few hills very importantly, and then all of a sudden EnVy take the map.
Yeah, we were talking throughout that one, and I think on the second rotation on the bridge hill especially, that's when we saw Mindfreak sort of panic. They had so much energy early in that one, got a solid lead once again, but as the game went on, it seemed like EnVy just slowly pulled their way back into it again. We get over towards bridge, and we see Mindfreak players time and time again peeking out towards that bottom bridge. It's a contest type of hill. You seem to focus on those spawns, those rotations. They kept dying in situations where they really shouldn't, and especially when that bombardment came in. They got the 3-piece, and then next thing you know, I looked away for a second. EnVy's getting time. Damon's like, wait, how did this hill blue?
Yeah.
So it just didn't really make sense. I feel like they could have executed on that just a bit better.
It just seems like that's sort of the difference between sort of the regions, right? These top North American teams, they might start off slow, but you have to play both halves of the game. It's so difficult to do, but you have to keep performing well. Shock start off so well, slows down. You can't do that versus teams like, you know, Optic, your FaZe, you know, your EnVyUs. You just can't do that. You have to play it throughout the entire game.
You definitely do. And then towards the end of that map as well, we saw Shocks with the camo, and it felt like he was making the right play. You're watching, you're thinking, oh, this is smart. But then it was almost as if there was like miscommunication potentially.
I was saying, you know, he made the right play. He camoed. He had to do it right there. You know, he was kind of solo versus 3 players. And then he went past bowling alley, and it looked like somebody just pulled the string and turned him around, and he killed a guy red statue, but there were 2 people in the hill, 1 guy in the back, and killing that guy front red, I mean, did that really matter?
Yeah, it just definitely seemed like somebody told him to get the guy in bowling so they could try to push from that side, but it didn't end up working out. You would have liked to see him just go back as far as possible, get, you know, try to get a guy or 2 who are holding a statue, and that allows his team to push up. But just a bad missed call.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Team EnVyUs. That will now, of course, put them at 1-1 in their pool. Mindfreak as well, 1-1. Splice 1-0. Cloud9 0-1. But before gameplay started, we actually caught up with the good man Courage himself and asked him for his predictions. Let's find out just how wrong he really was.
It is finally time for week 1 of the CWL Global Pro League, and we've got representatives from all 3 major regions. From North America, our 2 squads are EnVyUs and Cloud9. From Europe, we have Splice, and from the APAC region, it's our only squad hailing from there, Mindfreak. The team that I think is going to get last in this group will be the APAC squad in Mindfreak. While they have been boot camping in North America leading up to this point, they've got some star-studded lineups they're going up against in their region. They're the best On the international stage, though, it's a different story. In the third place spot is where it gets a little bit more interesting for me. I was torn between two different squads, but I wound up going with Cloud9 getting third. I just don't think this team has the consistency they need to beat Europe's best in Splice and the previous 2016 Call of Duty World Champions in EnVyUs. This now leads us to the top two in the red group, and this was pretty easy for me to call. In the second place spot, I have Splice. While they are currently in our top 4 in the power rankings, I do believe the preparation done for this event does help the boys in blue who I've got winning this group. The Team EnVyUs squad had a slow start to the 2017 Call of Duty World League season, but since then have looked more and more impressive. They look to be in form, and I think they're going to take the top of this first group in the Call of Duty World League Global Pro League. While I love sharing my predictions, I want to hear yours. Get on social media and use the hashtag CWL Pro League to get involved in the conversation.
Great to hear Jack's predictions before the event. Karma, was he wrong or is he looking kind of good? There we go. That was the answer I was looking for. But in all seriousness, I feel like coming into the event, they were some solid predictions, right, Teep? Like, is that really what you would have looked at as well?
Oh, definitely. You could definitely make the argument easily for EnVy or Splice to be the top in this group. I guess Splice is looking a bit better, but you have to remember, double round robin. These teams are going to be able to make these adjustments on the fly, and especially, I think the level of play the second time we see these teams face up, it's going to be much higher.
Do you think maybe those predictions will be correct towards the end after we've had all of the games completed, Mark?
Correct? I don't know. I think it sort of flip-flops. I think everybody knows that, you know, first, second, probably going to be Splice and EnVy. Just between that third and fourth, is it going to be Cloud9? Is it going to be Mindfreak? Just not sure yet.
Okay. You guys staying fairly on the fence. I'll try and get a full prediction out of you tomorrow, that's for sure. But, of course, the day not over yet. We still have one more matchup this evening to close out MLG Primetime. We have Cloud9 versus Splice. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.